Chapter 1 in the original philosophy of freedom was called The Goal of Knowledge. In the revised edition, it is found in the back of the book as an appendix. The world outlook of the chapter is anthropomorphism. Anthropomorphism, according to Rudolf Steiner's world outlook theory, is to restrict oneself to what one can experience on, around, or in oneself. This results in the cultivation of individuality. We find this outlook indicated in the opening sentence of the chapter. I believe I am right in pointing out one of the fundamental characteristics of our age when I say that, at the present day, all human interests tend to center in the cultivation of individuality. The chapter introduction continues with a list of ways to cultivate individuality in ourselves and in others. The characteristics of cultivating individuality are to shake off authority, to accept nothing as valid unless we can recognize it to be true, to prioritize self-development, follow no leaders but blaze your own path forward, select your own ideals, not allowing ideals to be forced upon you, recognize the inner worthiness of each, nonconformity, working toward the unique perfection of each one, supporting others to each make their own unique contribution to the world, free creative expression, striving for freedom, and remaining independent by avoiding any kind of dependency. These are the principles for cultivating individuality in life. Next, we move from cultivating an individual life to cultivating individual truth. Truth, too, will be sought in our age only in the depths of human nature. The rest of the chapter gives 12 different views on the chapter theme, which is the goal of knowledge. The first view presents two paths to truth, the path of outer truth and the path of inner truth. The goal of knowledge for the materialist is to seek truth in the outer world and in outer life. The knowledge of the world acquired by materialism brings many benefits to our life. Yet the knowledge we acquire from within is actually more useful. This is because inner truth gives us certainty. Outer truth brings with it uncertainty. We live in an information age and are overwhelmed with the outer truth of news, facts, and research supporting all sides of an issue. Rather than resolution, it makes us more confused. We are only convinced when truth appears within, when we finally get it and things become clear. This is inner truth. The materialist advances in the pursuit of knowledge when he shifts his attention from the outer world to the inner world to experience inner truths. Due to a certain inwardness, spiritualists are naturally inclined to see inner truth. Their ideas arise from their own inner activity, in pursuit of what really matters to them, discovering lofty truths. If the spiritualist remains in a state of being baffled by spiritual riddles and ancient mysteries in the pursuit of lofty truths, they will become filled with doubts that will weaken their spiritual powers. This uncertainty and doubt leads to inactivity caused by the inability to set concrete goals for creative action. The realist does not get lost in cosmic riddles. To operate in the real world, belief is not enough. It is necessary to know. Ideas that are drawn from the external world can be clearly understood. Belief requires accepting truths that we do not fully comprehend. The goal of knowledge for the realist is to grasp the real world by understanding and experiencing everything in the depths of his core. The idealist is not satisfied with knowledge about the real world. This knowledge of the world is encased in books and stored away for all time. The idealist wants to make progress by advancing forward in knowledge. By starting from the known facts of the realist and from his own direct experience, the idealist wants to advance to knowledge of the whole universe. The mathematist does not become lost in idealistic dreams, but rather views the universe as a machine. Science is able to calculate how it works in accurate detail. This leads the mathematist to present the truths of science in a way to imply that its acceptance is compulsory. But no one should be compelled to understand. We should not expect anyone to agree with us unless they recognize the truth we present through their own insight. Facts of knowledge should not be crammed even into a child. The rationalist is interested in a broader range of ideas that are discovered in the outer world. However, the worldly rationalist can develop a stereotypical attitude and get caught up in popular cultural trends. A rationalist advances by taking up higher ideals, like the principles of freedom found in the philosophy of freedom. These principles become a path to truth when they are applied to life. At first, the reader of the philosophy of freedom is led into dry, rational thought in order to clearly define Steiner's approach to freedom. But the reader is then led, in Part 2, into the fullness of real life of the ethical individualist. To fully experience life, it is necessary to soar into the higher realm of concepts. In this realm are some of the sweetest joys of life. Psychism understands that to reach higher levels of thought, it is necessary to discipline thinking. After all, ideas are connected to people who have to develop the capacity to think before they can have ideas. This requires setting aside the time to withdraw oneself for a while from the immediate impressions of life and entering the realm of pure thought. When we are able to contemplate the world clearly, we reach the view of the pneumatist, that the world is a unified whole of one spirit. The research of the scientific specialists gains insight into the active directing principles that explain how things work. A higher science is needed that uses the principles gained in the separate sciences to understand that life is a unified whole in order to lead humanity back to the fullness of life. The pneumatist recognizes the individual spirit that expresses itself in life. When the principles discovered in higher thought are expressed in life, then theory serves actual reality. The composer of music enters the realm of pure thought to learn the universal principles of composition that are then applied to life in writing music. All genuine philosophers have been artists in the conceptual realm. Abstract thinking takes on a spirit of its own, and ideas become powerful forces in life. Then we no longer merely know about things, but have made knowing into a real self-governing thought organism. When our ideas become powerful forces in life, we become monads. Monadism is the view that individuals build up existence within themselves and express their concepts outward in life. Now we are entering the realm of freedom. The philosophy of freedom examines the questions of freedom that arise from the willful monadist. What is freedom? Are we free? And if not, can we become free? Steiner answers these questions with scientific explanations, making the philosophy of freedom a science of freedom. To the dynamist, the philosophy of freedom is nothing but idle curiosity if it cannot release a force within your life. This it does. The true value of the philosophy of freedom is that it develops all the potential that slumbers within us. It contributes to the all-around development of the whole of human nature. The phenomenalist recognizes that ideas appear within us as a force in life. Experiencing powerful ideas, though, does not mean that we must bow down before them and devote ourselves to their service. On the contrary, we should take possession of the world of ideas to use them for our human goals. The sensationalist recognizes we have ideas, but these ideas are merely our thoughts. One must confront an idea as master, or else become its slave.